Welcome back. In today's session, we will learn how to create cluster once the binaries are installed. Once the PostgreSQL binaries are installed, first thing we are going to do is creating the cluster. Once the cluster is created, we are going to start the cluster. So in Postgres, what happens is, let's say you have a server by name VM Linux, and you have Postgres installed on this particular server. So once the binaries are installed, we are going to create the cluster. Let's say I will create cluster 1. So you can create multiple clusters, not only one cluster, you can create multiple clusters, CLU2 and CLU3. So the cluster is nothing but a group of databases. So it's nothing to do with high availability, as in case of other database, other RDBMS, where you have cluster means like high availability solution. No, in Postgres it is just a bunch of databases. So when I say I create a cluster, and once the cluster is created, you can create any number of databases inside that cluster. So in cluster 1, I'll create DB1, DB2, DB3. So you can create multiple databases, so like that, DB5, DB6, or like you can give any name. So let's say cast or BUS1 or ABC, something like that. So all these databases, like this this database and this database are not related. They are totally independent databases running under different cluster. So, and another important thing is, in Postgres, you cannot bring down one particular database at any given point of time. Whenever you want to bring down the database, you have to bring down the entire cluster itself. So let's say you got a request from an application team to bring down DB1. So in that case, you have to bring down the cluster, and that in turn will bring down all the databases running under that cluster. That is what I'm trying to say here, that you know like you cannot start or stop individual databases in cluster. So start start and stop of the cluster will happen at the cluster level itself. There is in at database level, it's not going to happen. And also, let's say the next point here is like each cluster listens on a separate port defined in PostgreSQL.conf. So when I say cluster 1, cluster 2, and cluster 3, so these clusters run on different ports. So this runs on port 5432, port 555, port 6131, something like that. So these clusters run on independent and separate port numbers. So in case if you try to start cluster 2 using cluster 1's port number, it's going to crash. So as I told, so two clusters cannot listen on the same port number. So each cluster has to run with its own independent port number. And also each cluster has a default database called Postgres and a super user called Postgres. So you can change this, like Postgres, and also like you can change the super user. So you can make some other user, or like whichever the user as a super user. So whenever you are creating the cluster. So next is, so how to create a cluster. So using initdb utility, which is present under default directory, this is /usr/pg equal 14, in case 14 or 15 or whatever, under user directory, you have your version of PG directory, and then you have bin folder. So here this utility will be here present. So using this init db utility, you are going to create the cluster. So what are the parameters you need to pass to create a cluster? So for that, main things are the directory under which you are going to have your cluster files created. So we need to pass on that with capital D as an option, and capital U as a user, nothing but super user, which is the super user for the database. So for that, you need to use initdb -d, the directory in which you are going to create the Postgres database files, and also the super user using capital U. So once the cluster is created using initdb, we need to check the status whether the particular cluster is up and running or not using pg_ctl Postgres control utility, which is again present under the same bin directory. Using this utility, we are going to check the status of the cluster, and then, like, first thing we need to, like, to start, we can use the same pgctl -d directory under which the Postgres files are present, and use start command. And also to stop, we are going to use the same pgctl with stop option. Status, start and stop using pgctl, and to create the cluster, we are going to use initdb. So once the cluster is created, under that directory, all these files are going to get created. So it may be like pgconf. So this is the file. Pgconf is the file where you are going to define the port numbers, and also like pghba. So this is another important file which helps in host-based authentication. So we'll discuss about this when we are talking about the physical architecture of the Postgres. So let's head on to practicals. So this is the server where the Postgres is already installed. So as I said, if you navigate to user and do ls, you can see here that you have PGSQL 14 folder. So if you go inside that and do ls, you can see bin, lib and share folders will be there. So if you go inside bin and do ls, these are the different utilities which are present in Postgres, and these files will get created once the binaries are installed. So now you have installed the binaries, and there is no cluster running as of now. So you have to create the clusters once the binary is installed. So in order to create a cluster, the first thing is where you are going to put all your database files. So for that, I will create a folder here. So now I will give pg data. So you can see that I created pg data folder. I will change it to Postgres. So I changed it to Postgres folder. So now once this folder is ready, we will create the cluster. So in order to create the cluster, I will log into the same server as Postgres user. You see, I logged in as Postgres user. So now go to usr pg14 bin, and here using initdb utility, the first thing I need to pass is the folder in which the database files need to be created. So before that, let's see what are the files which are present inside pg data. This is newly created folder. So you can see that there are 0 files available. So now what I will do is, let's say I will give the for initdb utility, I'm going to pass the parameter directory parameter where database file need to be created, pg data, and user with capital U, Postgres. It's like a super user to the database. So if you use W for, in case if you need to set the password based authentication to the super user, you can use W option. So here for this demo purpose I'm not using that, but in case in production if you need to use it, you can use that one. So, and once it is done, so I'm going to press enter. So you can see that cluster is getting created. So once you get success message, you need to start the cluster. So what is the command to start the cluster? That is using pgctl utility -d directory where the files are created. So last time you have seen that this folder was empty. Now you can see that this many files got created. So before creating the cluster, this folder was empty, and once the cluster is created, all these files, database files got created. This is base directory is where your database tables, database tables will be, files will be get created. We'll talk about this when we are discussing about the physical physical architecture of the Postgres database. And here you have PGC PostgreSQL conf. This is the parameter file where all the Postgres parameters will be defined. So as I discussed before, we are going to define this port number under pg postgresql.conf. So now before starting we need to set the parameter. So it will be commented and it will be in the default parameter, default port number will be given. So we are going to change that default one. So vi postgresql.conf. So if you search for the parameter port, you can see 5432 is the default port. So uncomment that one, and let's, for the ease of remembering, I'm going to change it to 555. Save it. So, and now start the pgctl -d data. So before starting, let's check the status. So now the server is not running. So instead of status, replace the status command with start. So you can see that you will get a message, server started. So again, check for the status. So you can see that Postgres server is running under PID 858659. So one more check you can do is go to the database folder directory and you can see postmaster PID. So earlier in this, like before starting the cluster, this postmaster PID was not there. Postmaster is the first process, background process, which is going to start once the Postgres cluster is started. So what are the files details which are present under this? You can see that by cat. You can see that this is the port number which we defined under postgresql.conf to start the cluster, and also pg data is the directory under which the Postgres database files are located. So now if you see -ef Postgres, you can see there will be like multiple process running for this particular server. So now you can create one more cluster. So we have created the cluster under this directory. Let's create one more folder, that is pg data 1. So one. So I changed. So now we are going to create one more cluster using the same binaries. So that is, so first cd to this and say ls. You can see there are no files under this. Now I'm going to create one more cluster but under different directory, that is 1. So sorry, so this is for check the, so initdb is the command utility used to create the cluster. So I change the directory and say enter. So again you can see that new cluster got created, and also you can see that all these files got created. So again here you are not seeing postmaster.pid as in case of the previous like when we start the cluster, you will get postmaster.pid file, but that particular file didn't created because the cluster is not yet started. So what we need to do, the first thing we need to do is change the port number, because each port number is unique for the cluster. So that is port, again change it to your convenience. Let's say I will change it to 5656. So save it, then go back and start the cluster. So what is the command to start the cluster? pgctl-d directory. You can see, check the status, it is not running. But if you see, check the status of the other cluster which is running under pg data, you can see it is running. So now we need to start the cluster which is running under pg data 1. So start. So you can see that this particular cluster also got started. So the thing is, if you see here, postmaster.pid got created. This file will get created only when the cluster is up and running. You can see cat. So you can see that the port number 5656 and also the directory where the database files are present. So in the next class we will learn about the architecture of the Postgres, both physical and logical architecture of the Postgres database. Thank you.